So welcome back to this fifth session. Um, Today, we're gonna talk about different stuff. I was going to talk about timing first. I think it's what I wrote in the session progression, session breakdown about how I think when I time my shot. And I wanted to talk a bit more of the facial animation because last time we spoke about the hands and a little bit less of the face, and I wanted to talk about this and maybe do some um, special stuff for the lip sync. Maybe I think it's probably not the most important stuff. I think I'm gonna talk about the eyes animation, but also a bit of the lip sync, so you guys have something to think about later. Um, I know most of you are still in block, and it's completely fine. Like it's the idea was not to finish a shot. It's I did a spline myself just because it's my methodology. I don't do a very advanced block for acting at least. But I think you understood that it's super, and it's the most important is having a solid blocking, solid poses, is the key. So, before we talk about all this, why not have a look of what you guys did this week? Do some reviews and after talking about the rest. So what did I get? The is it this one first? Yes, I think this one. Um, from Amanda. I saw it this week. It was pretty nice. Let's take a look.
What do you feel happening exactly?
It's like panic, like this expectation from people to be something I don't think I'm good enough to be, and
Cool.
What do you feel happening exactly?
it's like panic, like this expectation from people to be something I don't think I'm good enough to be, and
That's nice. Okay, so first of all, like this is a spline pass. It's not like a refined pass. So as I told you, that there is the blocking for me, and after I used to spline each part of it, each part of the body layer by layer. And after, when I'm done with all the parts, I do refining. So there is some stuff that I will be okay with in this kind of pass because it's not going to be perfect. Like I'm gonna show you my animation as well. There is some mistakes still, some stuff that could be better, but there is some stuff I think that especially timing that could be improved in this pass. So you won't have to do everything in the end when you're gonna add all the facial features and stuff. So here, it's a good first pass. First of all, I think maybe the play blast you can remove those stuff you don't need. But one stuff you can do if you're using this mask technique of for hiding the face, I think it's cool. So we just focus on the body. But what you can do is like maybe like doing it like or texture or just what I did in mine was to do two different stuff at least, so I have something that it's clear when it's moving like this. I know you could even do like another one like this. It would be even better having like a four different like yeah, like a cross here would be nice. Just to have a very clear line that you see when it's going from the left to right and stuff. But I think with this volume here, it's pretty clear, so that's all right.
What do you feel happening exactly?
it's like panic, like this expectation from people to be something I don't think I'm good enough to be, and
So I'm gonna focus on the main parts, meaning like the spine first. I think what you did on the arms and hand, it's already pretty pushed, pretty advanced. It's good. It's looking nice. All the stuff is looking pretty nice. But there are some moments here and there where I can feel it's a bit floaty, and it's something I'm gonna talk about just after, but let's see.
What?
From here to there, for example, it's it's very even. The timing and the spacing, if I zoom in and I do like a spacing, it's boom, 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 boom. You see, like it's very small, but it's very even. So there is this
What?
floatiness going on. It's almost like someone is moving slowly like this. Let's take a look at your reference.
What?
Here, what you have in your reference is like you have, oh, sorry. You have this motion here, is this rotation like this. So from the beginning, boom, and the rotation stops. I think this one is actually, it shows from left to right, but it's probably more forward and a bit on the right screen. It's probably forward, and then it locks. Your shoulders stop going down. It's very subtle. You can see it a bit by looking at this point. It's going lower, boom, and then it stops going lower here, and it's kind of do like this motion on the right screen. It means like there is this rotation and then translation of the shoulder. That means like here, it's probably rotate. Your spine is probably rotating, and then your shoulder, because it's on your leg, probably going up a bit. So there's this motion like this. So I go down and after go up a bit. So this is very subtle and sometimes it's very hard to read, but it's something that if you understand how it works, you can push it a bit and show it in your animation, and then have a nice weight on your shoulder like this. You see, there's this, and then it's instead of going like evenly like this, you can have a rhythm of like boom, like this, going low and then stop going low, going on the right screen. So this is something that you could show already, and it's gonna break down a bit this floatiness. The other stuff that you can do is
What?
it's pushing a bit your timing by instead of going very, very slowly like this, it's going a bit faster and then oop. Oh, I think I changed. Yeah, okay. Going a bit faster to the pose. I mean, like your exposition is gonna go like this, and then going a bit like this. So instead of having an even spacing like this, you go uh, so you go accelerate a bit and decelerate a bit, and then you're gonna have like a nice smooth stuff. I'm gonna talk about it after, but one, yeah, I think floatiness and stiffness. It's just in realism, it's always a balance. Is it too stiff? Is it too floaty? How do I succeed doing this? I suggest, and it's just my way to think of this, that it's easier to put some organicity into something a bit too stiff than to sharpen floaty animation. I think floaty animation is probably the hardest to fix because there is this slow motion like this, and you try to sharpen it, and then it's going too stiff and stuff. So I prefer having something a bit too stiff, a bit too close to posing, and then add a bit of delay. Like you sometimes have like a stiff movement, like something going like this, and then you just add a bit of breakdown in the head, for example, and then you have this organic movement. So this beginning here, you see that everything is going at the same timing to the right screen. It's probably this that makes it floaty as well. Probably if you in your reference, for example, I feel like the head has this little movement like this that brings the head a bit faster than the body. It's almost like the head's going like this and the body reacts to this. So if I over exaggerate it just to understand, it would be like this. So here is very subtle, but you can still like the head is going a bit faster and then the body catch up. So it's very subtle, all those stuff, but already when you're doing your spine pass, think of the floatiness of it. Here you should never have something that slow, that floaty, okay?
What do you feel happening exactly?
And here it's better. Here there is some timing happening. I think the reference helps helps a lot. It's like be sure when you have a reference to analyze the timing. Sometimes you want to push the timing. So you have many options. You can do it, of course, directly in Maya. Some people like to edit the reference and to sharpen a bit the timing in the reference. So this is something that you could do as well. So here,
Do you feel happening exactly? Do you feel happening exactly? Do you feel happening exactly? Do you feel happening exactly?
you have a nice timing here. Something that you could improve during this movement here, it's the shoulders. I don't know if you did the shoulder pass already, but here the shoulders are not moving that much, where here you see in the reference you're pushing a bit more forward. But this stuff you could put it there. It's a nice like contrary movement. Do this, and then you could show a bit what's happening with the shoulders. Is their roll like this a bit, and you could also put them a bit lower so it's a bit clearer, this movement here. Because here, I don't know if it's what's happening, but we have this feeling of stretch in the arms. Maybe it's because you have pin on the elbows, so be very careful of that. So here you could have a bit of this. So the shoulders going forward and a bit lower, like this.
Exactly.
It's like panic, like this expectation from people to be
And here
like this expectation.
we have this same problem as the beginning, a bit of floatiness in the spine on here. So we have this
Like this expectation.
nice movement on here, and then we have like this very slow and even movement here. And how do I break down this? Probably with a reference. Let's see what's happening. So in the reference,
Like this expectation.
first of all, what I see in the reference is like the thorax here. If I do a box for this, and if I do a circle for the belly, for example, I can see a clear and like another box for the pelvis. I can see the stuff we talked about last time about the spine going like this. So the first spine here is going in the depth like this, where the other upper spine is doing like this. And here we have like this stuff here that is not moving anymore, and it's just FK moving like like this with the upper spine. So be careful with that and have a nice C happening on your spine. So check your profile and be sure it's still, even if you're going like forward, it's still going with this first spine going on. Because here it's probably because you have not the right timing of the spine going like this little contraction, like with a good timing, and you're doing locking this and doing like this very slow, and it's making this very floaty movement here.
Expectation.
And after, what you could analyze as well is probably the Y rotation here. Y rotation is very subtle, but you could probably add it a bit. So here, I feel from this pose here to this pose here, you see here, so it's a bit of Z rotation. You see this shoulder going low, whereas this one is going up. You see this movement here? But this is also probably because of the Y rotation and the perspective. So there is maybe a bit of this. You see, like on my camera, for example, when I do this one is going up and this one is going low. And I just do Y rotation. I don't do this. But because of the perspective, you have some stuff like that. So it could be also because there is a bit of this happening. So you can choose, or the best is doing probably a bit of both and having some detail happening here, because it's very X, there's a lot of X, but it's missing a bit of this. So for organicity, be sure when you do your spine, but it goes for all the controls. Be sure you're using all the axes all the time, even if it's a bit. Always, we're moving in all the axes. Like only robots use mono axis.
Expectation from people would be.
And here it's nice because you did choose an axis here, which is you had this very straight line here, and you choose a bit of this. You exaggerated a bit your reference to have this stuff here. I think it's nice. This is this kind of stuff that you could exaggerate a bit.
From people would be something. People would be.
Here, there's the breathing. We can hear it a lot. I think you should see it more on the torso here, like this. It bring the torso bigger for sure, but also as we talked last time, it shows on the spine going like this. So if you had a very stretch spine already, maybe keep it a bit less stretch, and then use it for the breathing. Don't breathe too much with the shoulders. Again, we talked about it. It just shows fake breath, like more with the chest and the spine.
Something I don't think. Something I don't think. Something I.
And here you have this spine rotation. Again, I'm talking a little about the spine, but here you have the root rotation, where you can see, like on your reference on here, there is this compression here. You see this line and this line compressing because, again, of this spine stuff. So you could probably work on the spine a bit more and just look at your character and profile and see if it's really doing this C stuff well.
Something I don't.
Because here you have it here, but it's a bit too late. It's a bit after the big motion is here. And there is this nice stuff. So you started doing this. You need probably to refine a bit this, but it is more. I think you could really watch your reference and almost frame by frame your reference on here. It's working really well. Here it's a bit clunky, but it's gonna be easy to fix. But what's it's nice here is the energy going from this smear frame here to the contact here, and the energy is gonna go up to the shoulder, and you see the shoulder going boom up 1 frame late. It goes like and go bam like this. 1 frame after the contact is going up and then rests. And it really shows the energy going boop 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 up to here. So this stuff you can analyze and just put in your animation. It's like boom, it's gonna work. I see that you did it. It's just that here what's happening, it's your timing, it's slowing down here. See, like after like the spacing is going to slow, where what you need is big spacing here, boom, through to the contact here, and after bouncing already. So it's you did a bit the opposite here, you're kind of slowing down, and after you're bouncing a lot. Where what you need is like from here, boom, directly to the contact, and then bouncing a bit. Okay, so
Think I'm good enough to be, and
What do you feel happening exactly?
it's like panic, like this expectation from people to be
but it's going well.
expectation from people to be something I don't think I'm good enough to be, and
I think the timing on the head, it's probably not perfect on the spacing on few stuff, but I think the timing, main timing on the head, the posing with the head angles and stuff, it's gonna work well. So it would be mainly do a pass on the spine and rework a bit this movement of the on the hand, and all the rest. I think the contacts and this kind of stuff. It's you see that it could be um, a lot of work, but in the end, it's working pretty nice. Just be sure it's not too many fingers showing here. I feel like there's so much. I'm almost thinking there's too many fingers. So what you could do is a bit what's happening on your reference, like this hand here. It's just showing one, two, and the third is somewhere here, but the last one is hidden. So it's probably this one, two, three, and here I feel like I see the last one. So you could probably like try to change a bit the angle to have something a bit more simplified. But in the main stuff, it's working well. Don't worry about the concentration. This kind of pose gonna have a concentration. It should be graphical. It should not be like the perfect pose with no concentration and stuff. So, but I think mainly it's working well.
Exactly.
Cool. Let's do another one quickly. Where are you? Boop boop. I think it's. Um, you probably. Yes. Cool.
Thank you for telling me that. It's better. You'll see.
Cool. It's going way better. I think you applied really well the notes.
Thank you for telling me that.
It's really good. I think it's way more clear.
It's better.
Be careful with the opening of the jaw. I feel like it's still the blocking, so it's fine. But just for showing the emotion and stuff, I feel like she's opening the mouth a lot,
You'll see.
like mainly here. You see, it's kind of like closed, and it's feel like you see like this. So could be a bit more close, and it's very long, so you could put it a bit more tight. And a suggestion I had, and it's something we're gonna talk about in lip sync. It's probably to keep 10% of the previous shape here. So here, instead of closing and changing completely the shape, you're gonna see and then keep a little bit this open, changing the expression, just keeping a bit open. It's gonna change the stuff, but a bit more naturally. It's like we talked about this with changing the emotion, but with subtlety. Here, it's the same. It's instead of like closing the mouth and doing another expression, you use the previous expression, emotion, or even just shape, and you put sometime like 10% of it in the next one. And here, what you have is you still have a bit of smile, and I think it's good, but you could use a bit of the C and having this very tiny opening still. Probably my drawing is wrong because it might be a bit lower. Yeah, like this. Just a tiny bit. It's gonna look a bit better, probably. Um, cool. What else do we have? I think the rest is going good. Keep going. It's great. I don't want to miss anyone here. Um, okay. This one as well is just sent me. I just saw
I
it
think
is
they
going
should give
good.
their best driver, who's also a great poet, a brand new bus. It's the least they could do.
City of Patterson? Not likely.
It's going good. It's great. It's really in the good direction.
Also a great poet, brand new bus. The least they
Really like this motion here. It's working really nice.
City of Patterson?
Uh, Here, I think that it's the neck and head look a bit broken. You should probably bring a bit more neck in the Z rotation, and probably a bit also in the X rotation. Also, it seems a bit like this, and yeah, it seems a little bit broken where here you can tell that there is contact on here on the back of the head, but still it looks relaxed. So be careful. Look at the perspective in your perspective view and take a look of how it's done. Is it broken? Is it a bit? I think the idea is good. I think that even the head angle is good. It's just the connection with the head looks a bit broken. For the rest, I think it's going good. I would suggest just maybe for the ending, it looks a bit frontal in the end. Maybe just you could keep a bit more of the attitude. So this line a tiny bit more on here. I just feel like going too much frontal. It's breaking a bit the attitude and probably a bit the volume. It's working. It's just a taste. Maybe my drawing is a bit extreme, but you could just rotate like 10% more. I think you have a bit of this. And in your reference, I think it's pretty clear that it's a bit more on here. It's not that frontal. Here either, but I think you could just exaggerate a bit your reference and keep all this just a tiny bit more on the connection with your other character. For the rest, I think it's really nice what you did. Let's take a last look.
Well, I think they should get their best driver, who's also a great poet, a brand new bus. It's the least they could do.
City of Patterson? Not likely.
Yeah, it's really good. Maybe this shape here, it's a bit too pushed. Maybe you could have the same feeling with all this, a bit more appealing, just a tiny less stretch. So this guy will be here and here because you close and you contract. You push a bit like this, but maybe a tiny less because your previous pose is going to be a bit more relaxed. Okay, I like this shape here, but because of the perspective, it's kind of like it doesn't show the length of the mouse. But when you go frontal, it shows a very long mouth, and maybe it's not that appealing. But the idea is good. I think you should keep it and just tweak it a tiny bit. But really nice. So careful here when you're gonna go a bit further. I think the pivot point now is good. Be sure to have a good connection. You did put some connection here. The complex stuff here is to still get some connection with the body. So maybe you could exaggerate what you have a bit with the body rotation here. Maybe you could exaggerate just to be sure. You're gonna see it in spline, but if it looks too disconnected, it's gonna look a bit weird. So you could have a bit of stuff going on here. Maybe a tiny bit bigger.
Also a great poet, a brand new bus. It's the least they could do.
City of Patterson? Not likely.
Cool. Awesome.
City of Patterson.
Also, last thing maybe here, maybe you're going a bit too far on the on this angle on the Y rotation with the head. It's good. It's looking like the shape is good, but maybe it's a lot of effort for something that you could have the same look, just a bit more relaxed with the eye maybe here. Because you don't have to look to point with the nose someone to speak to him. If I'm speaking to someone here, I'm gonna probably go like this maximum, maybe not like this, but it's just very tiny detail. All the rest looking really nice. On her, it's looking really good as well. Cool, good job. I think we're good now. There is this one also. I think you got my notes this week of the reference. Just watch this one.
Pieces that you found. How long was it between each victim's death?
So it's going good. And one big thing that I see is like the body here. It's moving too much. You're doing a lot of ups and down, and I think it's good that you did animate it. I think just we're losing the fact that she's sitting on a chair and there is some constraint on the back. So when you're doing this stuff, and it's quite interesting, those stuff. Like when you're leaning on a chair and you have like this stuff going on your back, all the breathing and stuff, the pivot point changed. So if there is no back seat on here, I'm gonna have this up and down like this, okay? But if there is a constraint like this, what's happening? It's more inside the shape. So instead of like going up and down on the screen, it's gonna be in the shape. So that means like you're gonna still have this stuff happening, but it's not gonna show too much ups and down, but more it's gonna roll on this. So you see the shoulder is gonna keep at the same height or almost. So since you have those animation, you could just take your curves and just like flatten the curves so it just show a little bit of this. There is a lot ups and down here, where here you have one because of the breathing probably, and it shows a bit less than what you did in your animation. And what I like in your reference here is that because of the pose and the and this part here constraining your shoulder, this shoulder here is moving way less than this one. You can tell on this movement here. And this is the kind of stuff you could do it. Not necessarily because of this, but because she has the arm locked, right? So the rotation could be a bit around this constraint here. So you could show a bit more on the rotation on the other, but this one shouldn't move too much. You could have like this stuff happening.
Each victim's death. In the cases that you found,
About the expression, the facial animation, be careful not to lose the volumes of your character. Here there is this very long lip happening here, where I think that she is naturally more like this. So when you close the mouth, make sure so if this is a natural opening, so she's not like this, she's just naturally probably like here, for example. That means like her lip, when she closes the mouth, should be higher than this. So if I open the mouth naturally, like this, and I close my mouth, like you see this part here is going higher because my lower lip is pushing higher. So maybe this is not a natural opening because I see a lot of upper teeth. So maybe she's doing a bit of this. So you could do maybe a more natural opening, maybe a bit lower, like this. But I feel like this shape is quite okay.
the cases that you found,
And here, what you're doing is like you're pushing down the upper lip, where it should not do this so much. I mean, this could happen if I'm doing like I'm opening the jaw and I'm closing. Like for example, like if I do like b or this kind of stuff, I'm opening the jaw and closing my mouth. I could have this kind of long lip happening, but here it's just closing the mouth, so it should be probably somewhere here, and you're gonna have like way better design on your character. See here it shows a lot because you're like this.
how long was it between each victim's
I feel like the facial features on here are pretty clear. It's pretty good.
death? Death. Victim's death. Between each victim's death. Victim's death.
And I did review your reference where I told you to remove this, and I think it's working nice. I think you don't need the opening of the eyebrows.
How long was it between each victim's death?
So keep going. I think it's mainly turning down the animation in the body, but the rest is going pretty good.
In the cases that you found,
You're going probably a bit high with the X rotation here of the head. It's going a bit like this. I think you could contain the character looking a bit low and having this kind of direction here. So here would be probably a bit lower because she's anxious. She doesn't go so high. Be careful of the white here. It's something that I realized when I was looking at photography. It's like the eyes are like on young people. This part here, it's very symmetrical. It's when you have like one eyelid a tiny bit lower than the other, it looks weird on people. Like it's almost like on children. I was watching like some advertisement in the metro in Paris, where at some point there were like faces of children like this, and you could tell like the eyelid here was exactly the same at the same place to the other eye. It was kind of like very, very, very symmetrical. So be careful when you're doing this. If you want to have like a dysymmetry on the eye, it should be only on old people with you know when the flesh starting to go a bit low and you have this kind of stuff happening. Like on healthy young people, like be very careful when you have like white here. Like mainly I don't like to have this stuff except for accents or stuff like that. When I want to push one expression, then I show a bit of this. The here is kind of like there's just one pixel here. It's I prefer having it right on it, just right on it, or just a bit lower like you have here, depending of the emotion I want to have. So be careful because it shows here, for example, if you look at the eyes, it really shows something weird because you have two different stuff. So be very, very careful. Cool. I'm gonna show you my where I am now. It's I had like almost no time this week for for animating here, but I still did the arms plus eyes. So here is what I get for now.
The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day. 2 hours, Porrig. I timed it. The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day. 2 hours, Porrig. I timed it.
Cool. I'm gonna talk a bit about the eyes animation, but first I want to talk a bit more about the timing. It's something I learned in with a guy named Remy in Fortiche, a great animator. He's now anime director at Fortiche, and it was in like 6 or 7 years ago when we started Fortiche. He did like this class where he was explaining how he was using the graph editor and he found this very specific pattern that he's using for animating. So he's very clean in his way of animating. So I took a lot from his methodology to put in my very messy methodology. At this time, I was doing almost 2D animation, as I told you, and I took a bit of his methodology and put it in mine, and starting animating layer by layer. And when he's doing timing, so after the blocking and he's doing this first pass of spline, he found this pattern on his curve. So when you have like the step animation, so you're doing your blocking, so you're doing like stuff that are going like this, right? So you have like your key poses here that you keep, key pose 1 here, and you duplicate here. So you have like a clean change, right? And then you have like your pose 2 that you duplicate here. And then you go to spline and it goes like so. So first, if you don't duplicate it on here, if you don't duplicate it, you have something like smooth like this, right? So you have like the pose 1, pose 2, pose 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what I suggest to do is to duplicate the pose, so you have at least something like showing like this. Okay. So you duplicate the pose 1 on here, over there. So copy paste your poses. So you have like a clean curves. So you can have like a very pose to posy animation, right? And then he found he was talking about this pattern, which is the he called it the sharp shark. I don't remember how the shark fin.
Finn.
Yeah, the fin. So it's getting like this. Okay, so it's probably not perfect like this, but it's having this shape. So why is this making so much sense? So you have your pose 1 here. You duplicate your pose 1, but then you're gonna do like this ease in, ease out stuff. So here you're gonna go inside the pose and keep going to the pose. So you're gonna have like this very smooth transition. But then you just have to work on this part here, the changing here. So here you need to get the poses behind. So here you have your breakdown here. Your breakdown is going to be, if it's in the middle like this, it's going to be like a smooth breakdown. But sometimes the breakdown is here. Sometimes there's it's showing like this. So you just have to put some points on here to sharpen your transition, and then you're gonna have here maybe another one like this, and your curves are gonna look like this a bit. Okay, so it's something that I took some time to not understand because I understood the concept, but to use it. So just putting some keys and crafting the curve really manually to have a good how to say, to really push my timing as I wanted, not letting Maya do some spacing randomly and just craft the curves, and having this shape is gonna having this shape in mind of in your graph editor is gonna help you. Like sometimes you just have like a very simple movement of someone like doing this, and you're like, okay, it's looking a bit floaty. So what I do, just you do this, your transition here is gonna look faster, and then you have this small overshoot here. So after that, you're gonna see that in the animation it's gonna look more complex. So maybe you're gonna have like this anticipation here. So you're gonna have this stuff happening, and maybe you're gonna have an overshoot here, and this kind of stuff it's gonna look like this. But at least your base movement is gonna be this shark fin. So it's always good to have this in mind. So as I told you just before, in realism you'll be always in between. Is it too stiff? Is it too sharp? Is it too stiff? So I prefer going from the stiffness to the organicity, because sometimes what you're missing it's just a bit of inertia. So for talking when I'm going to talk about the face, I'm going to talk about the difference between the inertia. So what makes something organic? It's the difference between a big mass, for example, the core, the body, going a bit smooth, and then inside you can have like maybe the arm, maybe the face, maybe the head going sharp, a bit sharper. It's this difference between the motion of something smooth and something sharp. And you need to think about inertia, about the weight. For example, your chest, your core has not the same weight as your head, and your lips are not moving with the same inertia as your head either, because the muscles are shorter for the face, for example. So there is not so much of an overlap, for example, on an eyelid, for example. It's very sharp movement. It's just stuff going on like this. And what's going to make this stuff organic? It's because you're going to have some difference between, for example, in my shot here is like a smooth body. It's very simple movement, like doing like this. I show you the first pass. I'm going to show it again. Where are you? Root spine here.
The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day. 2 hours, Porrig. I timed it.
Well, it wasn't me little dog cat.
You see, the timing it's not I try not to be floaty, but it's kind of smooth. There is nothing really popping. And because of my reference, I could see it. But even without reference, I know that the chest should be smooth because there's nothing so sharp in the chest. Okay, for example, and when I had the head, for example,
The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day. 2 hours, Porrig. I timed it.
then you don't think about floatiness anymore because you have this stuff here going on that brings the texture, the sharpness you need. Okay, so sometimes when you don't have much time to animate and you don't have the occasion to polish your shot so much, you just need this could work. It's missing a lot of polish. It's missing a lot of yeah, the refining and stuff, but because I have this difference and I know that there is some sharpness at the good moment and some fluidity in the rest, it creates this organicity. And for the face, it's going to be the same. But I just want to show you this arm pass here.
The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day. 2 hours, Porrig. I timed it. The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day. 2 hours, Porrig. I timed it.
So here there's not so much as a finger movement because it's fingers are very I would say simple. There is no I added some very simple accents, but if you have finger stuff, then it's gonna be sharper than the arm, and the arm's gonna be sharper than the body, and so on. So think of this when you time your animation. So mostly you're gonna see all this in your reference. This is why we're using reference. But sometimes here, for example, I had like no animation at all in here. It was super stiff. If you look at it.
The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day. 2 hours, Porrig.
Okay, so I just added some stuff.
The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day. 2 hours, Porrig. I timed it.
I'm trying to be not too sharp because I don't want to put the attention on it. Just a bit sharper than the arm, for example, because it just short. The muscles are shorter. And for the eyes, then we're going to start having like very short muscles, to a very sharp reaction. So if I look at this.
The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day. 2 hours, Porrig. I timed it.
It's super sharp. Here, if I frame by frame, you have like this blink here. I think we could talk a bit about the blink, but what the main stuff is like this mask here. So this stuff, what's going on? So this stuff here is super important, is the mask, and this is a bit the muscle connection between the face and the eyes. So it brings a lot of expression. It's super important, and you need to get this right sharpness. This is really what we talk about, the shark fin here. It's really going like this because you want this very sharp moment with the eyebrows, and then you need this stuff so it doesn't stay stiff. So it's really this. What's happening is, oh, here is some weird stuff happening, but maybe it's even just a play blast. It's weird. So here, for example, I go up fast. So here is my curve. It starts going up, starts a bit more, and then boom, big spacing, and then keep going up, and then starting a new shark fin in the other direction. And it's just this.
2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day. 2 hours, Porrig. I timed it.
So here I just had my my poses in my blocking. So that's why it's super important. And this methodology works only if you put everything in your block. If you don't have the good shapes in your block, then you're gonna start looking for it in your spline, and then you're like, oh, is it bigger? Is it smaller? And for me, when I'm doing this, I'm not doing any of posing because the posing goes with the nose, the posing goes with the mouth, the posing goes with the emotion. And here, the job is done already on blocking. So that's why I'm not inventing any shape. So all those shapes, I had them in blocking. I just had to do the in-betweens. And for doing the in-betweens, I need to have this nice explosive timing.
2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day.
And then sometimes you want to add some small accent here and there. For example, here I found in my reference. That's why if you have a good reference, it's even better. That's my reference. I have like this extra going up here. It was up, but you see there is this stuff going even open here. So I added it in spline. I think I don't remember if I put it on block already. See, I didn't have this. I had just going up and going low. So I had like this extra small accent here.
You found in your little donkey shite that day. 2 hours, Porrig. I timed it.
And it's adding this extra texture, like extra sharpness. So it's pretty much that easy. So if you have the good pose and you still have an eye in the reference, or if you don't have the right reference, then think of like what you do. So basically, I showed you last time, but what I'm doing when I'm doing this, I'm doing like just, for example, the first 40 frames of it, and then I do all the eyes. So I'm gonna look at the eyes. So first thing I do here is the eye direction, super important. So the eye direction, I try to keep it very simple. You could do it just almost at the beginning, just one pose here, frame after one frame here, one frame here, and after you can smooth this. So here's the spacing for the eyes. It's super sharp. Even for, so here we have like a small dot, for example. So the small dot here is one here. The second one is very, very close to the first one. And then boom, big spacing here. It doesn't show because it's super small, but it's always the same. So if you have like an eye here and you want a dot over there, for example, I would do a first here and the second on here. And if it's a big dot, I'm gonna put an extra one here. So again, what I'm having is this, but very, very short.
The other night, 2 hours.
And then you see there's also, I try to make this part underneath alive. So what I have, like I have some controls here. So when I'm moving the eyes to this direction, I'm trying to push the flesh also from this. So it makes this mask a bit more live. And here what you see, I didn't animate the cheekbones at all yet. The cheekbones, I could do it with the eyes, but before I want to do the mouth because the cheekbones can be also pushed by the mouth. So what I'm doing is just the eyes with the eyelids and eyebrows. And after I'm gonna remove the big mask here, do the mouth, and then do the muscle connection with this. Always because I have the poses already on my blocking, I'm not gonna lose the emotion. I'm not gonna lose the pose.
2 hours, Porrig. I timed it.
Here I know that I'm gonna, even if I don't animate the nose yet, when I'm gonna put the nose, I'm gonna have this wrinkle here. I'm gonna have everything there. This is why this methodology goes with everything from the start to the end. If you're just saying like, hey, I'm gonna do the nose at the end, and you don't put it in the blocking, then then it's dangerous because maybe you're gonna do the mouth and then you're gonna add the nose and the emotion is gonna be blurry. It's gonna be weird. So that's why I like to put everything in my block again. Um,
The other night,
what else you
you
say?
spent talking to me about the
I think here we have like a dot a bit more
you
clear.
spent talking
Oop, let's have a look on this one maybe to see the timing of this. So we have one here, and you see this one, I didn't even put, I think, yes, this one is, it's here, and then big big spacing here, and small one. So it's the same stuff always. So I like to do just one is in, one is out for the eyes. It's always working nice. If you look at the reference, sometimes it's smoother, it's less sharp. But for this kind of shot, the eyes are quite small, and I want them to be clear. So I want them to be quite sharp. So if you're doing a close-up on an eye like this, then it's different. Then you're gonna have to smooth it a bit, do a bit more of ease in, ease out, because it's gonna be very fleshy, and you're gonna have to work all the eyelids behind and so on. It's quite interesting. But it's the same stuff for everything in terms of timing. It's always finding like having your pose A, pose B, and working the in between the sharpness of the curve here.
2 hours, Polly. I timed it.
Cool. What else we could talk about? I think we could talk about a bit the lip sync, and the emotion also that could inside the lip sync, because we all we mainly think that lip sync is just technical pass of like knowing all the labial and almost having like a library, and just you put the O shape, the I shape and stuff. But I think it's never really working this way. Um, so I have some rules about the lip sync, and the first one would be to keep the emotion of your shot. So if I add some stuff that we could analyze. So super easy. It seems very oop, why is it so small? Okay, this one. Um, it seems very obvious, but still,
It's beautiful.
you need to keep the expression when when you're talking, right? So here she's smiling.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful is with a smile. So meaning like what you need again is having like um a clear blocking where the shape is clear, and then you're gonna work inside this shape. It's beautiful. It's gonna be very different, and it's beautiful. Okay, so I did this mistake long time ago. I was doing like almost like no mouth at all. I was saying like, "Hey, mouth is for later." I'm doing all the body. If I had like this fantasy of like if the body is working, then it means like if you put on the face, it's gonna be even better. No, no, no. You need to have the face right, and then you do your lip sync inside this emotion. So here, every shape is with is conveying the emotion. Okay, that's why it's so hard to put do lip sync with a library. I think it's almost impossible because the shape's gonna change depending of the shot.
Remind him,
And here you see the expression change, the emotion change.
I forgot to remind him, and it's not.
You see
I forgot to remind.
all the emotion is still there. It's consistent. The other stuff that I like to say about lip sync is to, and it's something that it's tricky because it's not all the time, but it's something that I see a lot on students. They don't keep the pose enough. Keeping the pose is, you have two options. It's like the same stuff that we talked about and in the first course when it was, anticipating, for example, an emotion. Like you anticipate with your body before you're doing your dialogue. And here you could have the same thing, and also,
I thought the house needed you.
so for example, here,
Needed you.
oop, sorry, up. You have the U here, and after she closed the mouse because she's having this big change, and also you see like she's probably like swallowing here. She's changing a bit expression.
It doesn't.
And here is the same. She's closing.
Doesn't need you any more than it needs the roaches.
Again.
And the roaches, knowing this, crawl back into the dark, lay low, and make it through.
And again, and it shows this very specific acting where I talk and I close my mouth. Okay? It's very specific to this acting. I would say like a more natural acting, more casual acting, you keep your expression, maybe sometimes it's just 10% of it. You keep your last shape for the next one. So do we have an example here?
See, but you.
Here, for example, we have an anticipation of the next shape. She's not talking yet, but she's anticipating this one. She's using the breathing. She's breathing and putting the shape of the mouth already to say C. So here, what you see here is the breathing going to the shape of the S.
See, but you held the spotlight. It's those of us in the dark, the ones who just watch, who survive.
And here we have the example of like what I talked about is like
Watch, who survive.
she's doing watch. Okay, very clear shape. And she's doing this shape like this. And here she's done with the shape. She's not talking anymore. But she keeps the shape for no reason. You see how long she keeps the shape?
Who survive.
And there's reason for that. The first reason is like the next shape is a O shape. Who survived? Who survived? So it's very close to this shape here. So the brain it knows what it's doing, and when you're thinking about a sentence, like you're not inventing it, you know that probably if she was doing an A after, she would probably change this shape. But here, it's a who survived. And it brings this very natural moment where there is inertia in your mouth as well, but it's not overlap. It's just if I say hello and I can keep this shape. If I push it, hello, see, I can keep this shape and put and keep like maybe like 20% of it for the next one. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, see, I won't have my natural shape. Hey, I will bring this shape because I said hey before. So what I see a lot in student stuff would be hey, a bit what she says she does at the beginning. So closing the mouse and going back to the neutral or to something close. So be careful to bring like an evolution. We talked about the contrast in realism, of like you bring an action and it, with this this stuff going here, and after it's going here. And it's a bit the same with the lip sync and stuff. It's like depending of what you're saying, it's gonna change the next shape a bit. Okay, it's not something that will change. Like, okay, there is the A shape, and it's the A shape is probably different if you have an O shape before. So it's gonna change everything. So it brings this other concept of like the how do you simplify lip sync? So it's always the balance between clarification and simplification in the lip sync. So we need clear shapes, but we don't need the character to speak like this and having something too clear. It should be natural, like organic, the way you're going to one shape to another. So for this, I got an example of something like a bit pushed, maybe. If I had to redo it, maybe I would change. Not this, I won't say it's perfect, but it's working, and it's this shot.
Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you?
See, like it's very simple, and she's saying, "Who the hell are you?" So the mistake would be to take the mirror. So the mirror is like essential to the lip sync. I use more the mirrors than the reference for the lip sync, because the lip sync is we talked about the exaggeration sometimes of the reference, and here in the lip syncs, like almost all the time you need to do some choice. You can't really take a reference and copy paste a reference in your shot. It's gonna look a bit fake, a bit unclear. So the mistake in this would be to take the mirror and say, "Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you?" Okay, this is a lot of going on. Okay, it's like my vision of it was like, okay, what's the simpler way to do it? Who the hell? Who the hell? So when I think about lip sync, what I do is like, what is the main stuff going on? What is the main movement? And it's basically uh, the movement of the mouse, and it's very simple. So the mouse, it's going from this to this. The only thing it could do is going from this to this. Okay, it's the muscle of the mouse. It's just doing this. Okay, so when you knew that, and it going forward and backward. So when you go forward, there is this volume going on, and when you go backward, it's going flat and big, or small and big. So here it's just like you take this big concept here and go, okay, what is the main stuff going on? The main stuff is like, who the hell? So it's like forward and then backward. When you know that, then you can apply it and then see how you can put the stuff in it so it's still clear. And you're gonna see that it's sometimes way more subtle than what we expect. So here is like she's breathing, so there is this little contraction going on. Here's some organicity going on, and then forward. Who? But you see that the O shape is it's kind of close to the natural shape I had here, because I don't want to lose the intention. She's breathing a lot. She was doing some exercise. She's angry a bit, like who the hell? So I wanted to keep it. So shape is quite close. It's just going forward. And then I'm just doing this. And then I use the tongue here to do the L, so it's very clear. Who the hell? Who the hell? And I don't have the who the hell. No, I just do who the hell. Who the hell. Okay? So it's you just take the main shape, and after you see what you can, and then hella. It's the same shape. It's just the chin, the jaw going for hella, and then from this to again an O shape. So it's super simple. maybe a bit too simple in this case, but it was a good example to show you that if I play it,
You. Who the hell are you?
it's working. You don't need more than that. If I look at something a bit more complex, okay, all right, it's over there. Need to find it. Lip sync going on here. This is a lip sync shot. I like a lot those shots. It's very funny to do. Boop. Okay.
To be of service to the city. That's trophy enough. Begs the question, young Kerm. To be of service to the city. That's trophy enough. Begs the question, young Kerm.
Okay. So here it's a bit offsetted. It's one frame offsetted, but it's fine. City, for example, the city. Here I could do city, you know, like to show the city. But instead, I have the C, and here I'm just moving here and city, and it's working this way.
Service to the city.
So if I remove this, because now it's showing a lot, you're gonna take a look of this stuff here, and
to be of service to the city. That's
you see, it's sometimes, and we're gonna analyze like real shots of real people, and you see that it's not coming all from the shape here, but it's sometimes inside here. What's happening? City. So it's the tongue going down, and it's showing there city. Okay, so sometimes you just show this, and then you don't have to move so much. See then you avoid having like the jaw talking with the jaw is dangerous. So one stuff that we're using sometimes is like put your hand here and city. You see that you can feel a bit more what's going on. So you put your hand like this and you're talking, and you're gonna see when it's going low or not. Other good stuff to look for is when the mouth is closing. It's easy. It's always what you want to show. Like you can't miss the closing mouth, because it's without those you can't tell a phrase. It's impossible. So in this case,
that's trophy enough. Begs the question, young Kerm. To be
begs the question, for example, is the one I had here. So I showed it a lot. I pushed it, and it's still working.
That's trophy enough. Begs the question, young Kerm.
And for the other stuff, beg the question, the question. Again, you can use. So the jaw in anatomy, the jaw is not only going like this. It's also going forward and a bit on the side, and you can really use those. And if you look closely to someone talking, it's really moving all those stuff around. For example, here,
begs the question.
If you look at this, the question, when I do this shape here, I want my teeth to go one close to one to another. Like the upper teeth are going to touch the lower teeth, so it goes the chin, the jaw is going forward a bit. And see here, after that, there's this space happening here, going backward. Young, and you have this g happening here. Same thing. So it's something that we don't think that much in animation, but it's actually important, this movement here. And the same, I feel like on the left or right would be it's more useful to create a bit of asymmetry, to create a bit of mood. If I'm talking and you want to go to, instead of like saying talking, for example, you can go talking. So if I choose one side to go like this, it should be very, very subtle, but you can bring a bit of jaw, boom, and then you can use them to create some natural arcs and stuff like that.
Be of service to the city. That's trophy enough. Begs the question, young Karen, to be of
I didn't show you this because it's perfect. There is some mistakes and stuff. It's just a very clear example. And if I show you on an actual actor, it's the same thing. If you have this in mind, you're gonna see that all the stuff are happening. For example, here.
Hey. Happy birthday.
Oh my gosh, Pele.
It's just something I do for birthdays. Maybe it's not appropriate.
No.
You see here the jaw, for example, she has like a jaw natural opening here, and then she goes for no, and she goes the jaw is going forward. Okay, so think of this when you're doing your shapes. Not do only like, okay, O is just with this, and I do O shape and I have this. So no, it's like no, and you're gonna see that your lips can be a bit more simple than what we are mainly doing in animation of like a lot of no, the A is like this. No. So you see here, for example, it's kind of clear that the jaw is going forward, and then it's basically because of the shape of the tongue that she put some space for the tongue. Then she can put the tongue on the teeth and do this O sound. And you see that the not is more like a not, and then it's less forward. See, the O is forward, and the A is more natural. This kind of stuff.
Thank you so much.
Here you can see again. Thank you, and you see that. Oop. The jaw is going a bit forward, but
It's beautiful.
Anyway, just between us.
Yeah. Well, Kristen forgot, anyways.
here, let's see. Here again. See the she's really pushing with the jaw to get the Chris, this shape here. Chris. It's very subtle, but
Anyways, this is amazing. Thank you.
so think of those stuff. I think you got it. What else we can talk about? I think we talked about the evolution through one pose to another. Maybe we can see here. So for example, if you were doing a blocking here, this is the expression you want to have in the end. And you want having like this thank you, very like subtle, very like she's doing thank you, but she's almost whispering thank you, like this. So you see that the O shape is very, very subtle. She's already in the next shape, in this emotion. And this is how you get the time for the people looking at the animation to understand your emotion. Because if you have like thank you all the time, you're gonna have this stuff going on your face. So you need this solidity in your emotion. So it's thank you. You know, that's why it's so important to be subtle and to understand how to go from this. Thank you. You see, like it's very, very subtle. It goes from this. You just have this expression. Everything's going with a tongue tank. The A shape is there. It's just slightly more open than the th. And the O shape is there. It's super close to the next shape. Okay. Cool. So I have time to show you maybe how I do this in Maya. Or maybe something important, maybe four is it's the fleshiness and the organicity on all those, because the lip sync is one thing, but where are you? One other thing important is like what's going on in the rest of the face. And so basically what I do, but just me, but I think one very important stuff is starting with the eyes, gives you the direction, the emotion, everything. So when I spline my face, I do the eyes first. And I think this is important. And after that, I do the mouth. And after I do the cheekbones and the nose and everything, all the fleshiness, the connection. I do this because I told you like the cheekbones, they could be influenced by the eyebrows, but mainly by this muscle here, and this muscle is pushed by the mouth. So when I have my mouth, I can say like, okay, maybe here it's more important to go with the eyes, or here is like you see like this muscle here is pushing. This is directly connected. You could put a parent constraint here, and it's always working. So make sure when you do your animation to check those. So I'm not sure what I'm showing. It's good because it was a long time ago, but I probably have some notes on my own shots. But let's see what's happening. So here, I use this stuff on top in the end of my shot after I do all the lip sync, the cheekbones and stuff. I use this pass of fleshiness on top. It just you see like it's just a stretch. It's a stretch on all the face. So this is not so realistic because we don't have the bones moving so much. It just brings the old stuff together and show some connection with between the mouth, for example, and the forehead. So I do a little bit of this stretch stuff, and it shows a bit of connection. So when you do stuff like that, what's important is like keeping in mind the stretch and squash rules. So you should like have the feeling of like pushing the volume, so you keep the same amount of meat. And the other stuff is having something leading, not doing some really how do you say like evenly. So here the mouse is the jaw is leading, so the jaw is starting to go there, and get this very sharp movement here, and it's bringing the stretch. But here what we can see is the stuff I talked about just before. This lip here is pushed by the other. Okay, it's not going up before the other is there. If you do that, you can have some weird connection. And this lip here it's bringing up this. You see that this stuff, the stuff we talked about with the mouse muscle here, is bringing a bit of nose here. So it's basically very easy to connect because it's just muscle going together. The only thing you need to be very careful, I tell you, is like the connection between what we call the sneer and this space here. The space can change, but it should be connected. If you look at this and this, there's always like a connection, a bit smoother. It should not be like locked. Of course, the nose is not moving as much, but you should take a look too. And here, some stuff that I like to do, for example, is like when I close the mouse like this, the jaw, I like to do a little bit of rotate on the nose. So I have this stuff going on like this. And if you film yourself, if you record yourself on here, you're gonna see that the nose is moving, and sometimes it's moving when you go forward like this. Sometimes it's when you open the mouse. So it depends. You need to see and try different stuff. So here I did a bit of this. You see that the nose is rotating this way. And here there is this compression here. This is going forward and getting a nice connection on here. See here, the nose is moving a bit. So be careful with the nose animation, not to have something that it's showing, but still having a little bit of life there, it's always good. So be sure, this is a bone is going there, the rest is a bit more meaty, so you can move it a bit. Make sure this spot is not moving too much. What I like to move is also this part here. I don't know if I did it on this one, but yeah, you can see here, there's a little bit of stretch going on in here. It's small stuff, but since you know stretch and squash and how stuff are going, it's super easy to apply on small stuff. And all this is gonna make your the face organic without doing cartoon animation with everything going stretch and squash like this. It's just showing in small stuff. Okay, so if this is squashing, then apply the squash on just this muscle, and it's going to be enough to get the organicity and not having to stretch everything. So on Arcane, it's pretty realistic. So we try to work on this, trying to get the fleshiness without going over the muscles and over the bones construction. On this shot here, you see that even on the dart here, you can still use, if you're very subtle, you can still use a bit of squash. If you look at this size it's squashing a bit. But it should be very subtle, and this is in the end, in the refining pass that we're doing really in the end. Don't do it before, it's dangerous. And you see when I'm going up with the face, I'm stretching a tiny bit the skull, but to get this organic feeling. But if it's made very, very subtle, it
It's the
just
question,
looks
young
natural.
Chairman. What are you shooting for?
Okay? Super, super subtle. All the rest is just simple connection. So, for example, here you go a bit lower. So I'm squashing everything like this. Because I'm squashing, I'm going to push a bit this to have a natural squash on the mouth. It's super subtle, but it's still there. Think also of, I don't know, it depends of the character, but of the chin muscle here. So this chin muscle is super important as well. So it's rolling on the bone. Here you have your bone, and basically your chin muscle is rolling like this. Tuk, 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 tuk. Okay. So you if I do this, I contract it, and it's expand like this. So this stuff, it shows a lot with this shadow here. Depends of your character, of course. Like sometimes you won't have it. Since it's realistic course, I'm talking about those stuff. But here you can see the jaw muscle rolling a bit on here, changing a bit this size. So for stuff like that here, we don't have control on those. And we don't have control on, I'm just using stickies to do this kind of stuff. Put a sticky here, put the good influence and just do that bloop, and that's working. Think of those, like when you're doing this stuff here is moving quite a lot if you look at it. So when you're doing your lip sync, and this is way after the lip sync, when you're doing the refining, think of those. And sometimes, as I showed you, I'm using it for lip sync. Means like instead of doing a hey like this, I'm going hey 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 hey. So it's going to show here a bit more.
To be of service to the city.
Okay. Cool. I see some question maybe here. The eyeballs are stretching. Yes, maybe a bit. If it's very small, it's good, but it should be very small. All the stretch and squash you're doing on the head, on everything, you know, or if it's a smear, if I do like a hand like this, boom, I can stretch the hand very much inside, even for realistic stuff. I can stretch a lot for smear. But if it's just during the acting and stuff like that, all the stretch and squash you're doing should be not visible when you play it. Should just be visible when you frame by frame it like this. And it's true that the eyeball are stretching. This, for example, if I was now, it would be too much. I would probably turn it down a bit.
Be of service to the city.
But when you read it, it's still working. It really depends of the style also. Arcane, for example, went from more and more realistic. The more we were working on the show, the more realistic the actings and the style was. The direction was more and more realistic. And same on season 2. So this would probably not exist in the season 2, for example, or probably yes, but if I would do it probably a bit differently. And you use the sticky mode for under the chin. Yeah, exactly. I use the sticky mode a lot. Probably I'm probably the wrong guy for this, but I'm using a lot the stickies on this shot, for example. Oh, everything you see moving here on the back, it's just a lot of stickies that I put it here and there and just animated the muscles like this. Was fun, but we don't have controls on all this, so I just put a bunch of stickies and it's still working. So we have a bit of time. I'd like to probably show you maybe at least. Why do I have something like this? No. Okay, my tablet is not working anymore. Here we go. So here is my shot. Maybe I can show you a bit of lip sync on here. So it's freezing. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Hey home. All right. We'll 2D animation then. All right. Maya Crash maybe. Always good. Always at the good moment, right? Let's reopening. Maybe. Ah, Tem is good. Yep. Okay. So as I told you, I mute my controls before when I'm doing other stuff. So here everything is muted, right?
The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day.
All right. What's
about the things you
happening?
found in...
Let me. Oh my God! What is that? Yes, I know. Uh, it's all right. So everything is frozen here. One good trick that we're using, and I think it's a very good one, is you see in my perspective, there is this little camera here. So this camera is like a camera I created, and I parented it to my face. Okay. So if I go to this camera here, it looks like this.
The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day. 2 hours, Porrig. I timed it.
So this face camera is super useful for fixing your facial animation, because here you don't have anything moving except the face features. So super useful. Here, for example, I saw like this little weird stuff happening in the playblast, and it's just coming from here. See that here there is this little motion on this guy over here, and it's moving alone. The other is not moving. Okay, so I'm gonna fix this. So this face camera is something I use for fixing my facial animation, but I'm not animating like this. I first animate. Where are you? Oop. Like this, and then I fix on the face camera. I can also have both open, but what's important is the camera, right? The final camera is this one. So I want the shapes and all the stuff happen nicely on this one. Face camera, it's just here to show me the problems, pretty much. So here, as I tell you, like I never work with like this with all those frames. So what I do is I'm gonna take all the mouse features. I'm gonna select all this, poof, and I'm gonna unmute all those guys. Oop, unmute. I think I'm good. This and that. Unmute. Okay. So here I have like a very soft animation. You see, like I had like not so much keys. So I have like nothing. The other night. Let's try to do the other night. Okay. So let's focus on those few frames. 20 frames. So first I take my mirror like this and I do it. The other night. So here, what's important is probably the night, because it's the more contrast pose. Okay, so I'm gonna put this first. I take the jaw. here is my A. So here, N, A. And here is some highlight stuff that I don't like. Section highlight, yeah. So here, ooh, there is some computation here. Okay, I'm gonna fix this later. So here, night. So here it's not na, it's nai. So it's gonna go from nai. So here I can put here already the E shape a bit. So I do something very rough at first. I just want to have my big accents. I go always from big to small. So is it yeah, mute. And here I try to shape a bit my E shape. Can't do rotation on this. I need to be I need to understand a bit the rig because I don't know this rig much. It's the first time I do an animation on it. Oop. And night. So when you do the E, you can show a bit more the teeth. The jaw should be broken. So careful with the jaw not to use the translation. Always rotation. And if you use the translation, it's just to do the stuff we talked about. You go on here and you can do a bit of this. Not nice. So if you want to add this effect here. So the face camera I just show you, you could also put a profile camera on here and just parent it and then check your lip sync from the side. Super useful. So here it's super big. And here is too sharp. So I'm taking sorry, like this. My keys. For now, I don't care so much of the graph editor. I just want to put my shapes here. And then we talked about showing a bit more the teeth here. So here, I try not to lose the main shape, the main emotion. So I have my blocking here. I don't want to lose it. Just want to show some shapes inside this pose. Oh, I see a lot of question. Let me keep going a bit and then. And then let's. Okay, here I start having something nice. Okay. Just want to make sure this guy goes over there. I don't care so much of the concentration. I'm gonna fix this later. I'm making sure my okay, here I start having something simple and nice. Just want my upper lip to follow a bit the opening of the jaw. Boom. I could use the main control here. I just like to have some organic. For example, like on this case here. Those controls here are going to be are going to go a bit more low than this one. I want this one to keep a bit more solid. So that's why I animate mainly those, and this guy here, not so much. I do those for I use those for the blocking, but then sometimes for big shapes maybe, or you see like here for fixing my shape. I don't even know why I have this guy over this concentration, but fixing my shape, I could do this. Why? Oof. Oh, okay, I see why. This guy is muted. Okay, that's why. It's better. Um, okay. And then I keep an eye on my mirror. Night. So what I want to show in this night stuff, it's of course the Joe, but also the corner going night, night. So it's both like this. So what I'm gonna push it just a bit inward. The inward here, inward a bit, and then keep going low, one frame like this to have a bit of follow through with the corner, and then going up like this. So after that, in refining, I'm gonna probably like check all the movement of those. I want those um to have nice curves, but not curves like this. I want to have like very I would say like um almost flat curves. You know, like it's a muscle. It go like oh bam. Just I don't want those nice arcs like this. I just if I have an arc to do, it would be like this. Boom. Okay. So be careful not to have like with the corners some smooth and you know like this. It's gonna look weird. So if you do an arc, it's close to flat. Poof, like this. Let's go back to this bit. Oop, just change this. And I can check after on the camera too. I would go here, see that there is some stuff happening. Because I didn't start by the beginning, but here is moving for nothing. But I would, what I'm doing is it's a bit wrong because I'm trying to show you one stuff in the middle of my shot. But of course, this shape here is going to be influenced by the other. So it's, I suggest to start by the beginning of your lip sync and go like this, a bit taking one word in the middle is not a good idea. It's just to show you here how simple it can be. Boop. And so it goes from here and here a bit of follow through, boom, and it goes back here. And after it's like the stuff we talked about with the curve. That means like this shape here. So I take all the controls of the mouse. I put a key here. I'm gonna push this pose. Delete this stuff here. And push the pose a bit further. Just a tiny bit. Okay. And maybe a bit also nights. So I keep an eye on nights. So what I could have here, instead of pushing the pose, is it's having a bit of an overshoot here inside this mouse. So So here I go a bit higher. Here a bit lower. And then and here I close it a bit. So it's gonna create this night overshoot. Not really well made, but you get the idea. And then using those stuff, those probably those effects here, those roll. So the roll here is it's doing ups and downs. I don't like it so much because I like to roll the lip on it, but I don't want to have this up and down that it's gonna be contrary animation, this guy here. So it depends on the rig. Here, what you can use, it's also the rotating this guy maybe. It's starting to be a lot of work, but so basically the idea is like the more you go like this, the more flat it goes with the lip, and then you curl, so you flatten a bit, so you use those guys here or even this guy, but I mainly use those guys here to flatten a bit the lip, and then you curl a bit like this. Oh, this is working okay. And you have like this very connected lip nights. So you see that it's very subtle. Those are rules, and after if you apply them very subtle with a small contrast, it just creates nice and organic shapes. So it was just like one word, but I think I'm gonna go to the question if I don't want to finish too late. Okay, so let's take some time for some question. Can you show an example of the shark? Yes, so the shark stuff. I'm basically cleaning it in my refine pass. So here I might have some crappy shark stuff. But if I take, for example, I don't know, like in the head, probably is probably the best example here. And I take the Y rotation here. So for example, here my head is pass is it's quite simple. Rotation X. See, there is not really some work in it. So let's see inside on here. So what I'm gonna do after that? When I'm gonna clean my animation in refining, I'm gonna take this movement, for example, on here, and it's a very clear example here. But here, the X rotation of the head, this stuff. Okay. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna do this stuff here. I put the key here. I'm gonna probably do this. At some point, after doing it a lot, you could, because you know that your animation is there and the good timing and everything, you could clean your curves almost without looking at the results because you know that the effect's gonna have. So this guy is gonna be probably here, and I'm having this guy over there, and then having this guy going over there. And this is the stuff we talked about. So here I keep going the same direction, but here you see you have it, but a bit smooth. But you have this shark stuff again. Again, like it's the one I show you, depending of like how stretched you have the curve. You have it. But then here you see it's pretty even. So maybe I'm gonna have to tweak it like this. And then have another one. This one is quite messy here. And then you have another one here. You see, it's it's the same pattern. Of course, you won't have all the time this. But the idea is to craft the curves to show this stuff like this. So for example, here it's probably missing one point here to choose if the point is going to be in the middle like this. This is Maya choosing for you, or on here, or on here, depending on what we need. But this is what I meant when I say crafting the curves. So here, after in refine, I'm gonna take a look at the head stuff and clean all those stuff. But you can see already what it's gonna be. Of course, here is some texture and some stuff happening, and so it's gonna mess your curve around. And don't get me wrong, like it's all right. It's your graphic editor is not what it's on the screen at the end. So if you have like a messy graph editor and it's working, it's always better. But what is wrong is probably this. It's probably this. It's very flat here. So probably in the camera, if I take a look of this, it's you see that the Y rotation is stopping here. So it's probably a bit better if I push a bit this and I do like a nice up, the same shape I talked about. Okay, it's just this super simple. It's so if you do it first, this shot I animated quite fast because I didn't have much time to do it, and it's a bit for you. But like when I do, if it was at work, for example, I would probably like do a cleaner spline version than this stuff here. Cool. So what? At what point you start adding the voyeur and the close? It's it's all. What do you mean? But at what point? Like when I do the lip sync, I just straight away the stuff. It's just what I do is just I want to show the big I think of like the big stuff happening first, then just like okay, it's starting with the okay, so I'm going to do the no, what is the big movement inside this word, like for example,
The other night.
the other night, the other night, so the other night, so the big stuff is the other night. It's like the other, it's probably if I push it and I exaggerate it, it's like the other night is going forward and then backward and a the other night. Okay, so big stuff is okay. So I don't think of voyeur and and stuff like that. I just think of like what's a big movement, and after I know that there's some stuff I need to show, it's the mouse close and stuff like that. Usually if you want to show the mouse close, you need 2 frames for it at least. Like 1 frame is never enough. If you do this, it's gonna be just too sharp. Um, but yes, I just think about the big movement and then I straight ahead the rest of the lip sync. It's not that much complicated. It's just the idea of what I try to explain is how do I go to one shape to another, and I try to understand what is the shape of my mouth and try to see if I can get rid of if you deconstruct, if you decompose too much the movement, like for example, the other night, this is too much happening. The other night, no, you don't want this. Like the other night, the other night, the other night, the other night. So maybe the is gonna be a bit of this yo. Okay, so it's a bit what I said, like forward with the corner the other night, the other night, and the night is a and it's going like down and then stretching the other night. So it's basically always this happening. Super simple, and try to think simple, and then be a bit creative of like the passing position. You could go the other night, like very, very forward, and then use a bit of asymmetry of like the other night, for example. And then you start having this shape that shows your emotions, character, depending on like how the character is talking, how it is, I'm speaking like this, it's a bit different. So it's depending of the character and stuff. It's gonna change the attitude, but the main moving is the same, the other night. So you could go really like the other night if you wanna if you were in a cartoon, for example, you would use a lot these curves going on. For realism, it's good to stay subtle, it's good to say contain, a bit solid on the lip sync, and then just use the organicity, the muscles and everything to make it physical, to make it fleshy, not not too much of the shape going on like this. Do you copy animation of certain parts of the face and paste it on other control? Yes. Yeah. I do it. I'm gonna probably, if I finishing this shot for next week, I'm gonna show you this stuff. I'm using it, but I'm so basically for those who don't know this, it's basically, for example, taking the animation of the jaw, the opening. Why is it muted? Okay, unmute. Okay, whatever. Opening of the jaw, for example, here, I copy this curve copy. Where are you? Or edit copy, and you paste it in, for example, the cheekbones, for example, and then you're gonna have your cheekbones going like in the white translate of the cheekbones, and then the cheekbones are going to, or in the nose, for example, to follow this, and then you scale your curve, and you're gonna have some very very easy and fast animation for the feature of the face. This is good, but then you need to rework it. After that, you have the base, and after you need to delay some stuff to have some drag happening. Like if the jaw is there, maybe there is 1 frame delay with the cheekbones, for example, and some stretch and stuff, and also simplify stuff because the jaw is sometimes like it's very sharp and could stop very with a lot of stiffness. Like it's really really sharp, and you need something a bit more fleshy in the cheekbones, for example. So for characters that are a bit far, maybe this far it's could be okay. I could use this. I could do a pass like this where I copy paste the stuff from the jaw and put it in the cheekbones, for example. Or what I do also, I tried different stuff. Like I use the up and down on this, or the X here, and put it on on here like this, and I just scaled down a lot the curves. It saves me some time, but in the end, I spend a lot of time cleaning it. And when I have close-ups like this, I don't do it so much because I think it makes the animation a bit too I would say like, yeah, too a bit too cartoony. It's just applying some stretch and squash. And what's funny is like when you look at the reference, sometimes there is stuff happening that you would not expect because the nose could be a bit complex. Like for example, I could have like a O shape, and you expect those guys here to go low, and in the end they go high because there is like this muscle here going on, and then you say, oh, it's different, and then you apply it, and you have something a bit more physical, a bit more original as well. So when I have like a video close up, I try not to do that so much anymore, but it's you should try because it could save you some time. But don't think it's gonna save all your problems.
2 hours you've been talking to me.
What's interesting here, for example, is to see, and it's almost like an animation rule. Like you see the stretch happening here with the mouse going low and the eyebrows going up. It's almost like animated already. So this kind of stuff are interesting. And you see here the lip going up, bringing the nose going up here, but the chin is not going up. That means like it's just the muscle of the chin muscle going up here, but not the jaw. Jaw is closed already. So be careful of that. Don't mix don't think the jaw is always doing the movement. You could have a lot of stuff happening with just the jaw not moving and just the lip doing some muscles, some muscle change. Like those guys here. Here the mouth is closed, but the jaw is open. So I have this shape here. Be careful.
Things you found in your little donkey shite.
Okay. Cool. I think it's time for us. Oh, sorry, there is some other question. Okay. Do pause the lip sync considering 1 or 2 frames before? Yeah, this is this question. I personally don't really understand this rule of like putting the sound before and stuff. I never really understood this stuff. And if you look at video reference, just on the sound, like you have the sound and you have the shape doing it. So I'm not sure even where this come from. What I know is like there is a lot of trouble with that because when you release a show, the sound could be depending of like what the software you use, even for play blasting, it could shift a bit of frame the audio. So it's difficult. So I use personally keyframe, and it's quite accurate. But I put the shape in the on the audio, and I think it just looks more sharp. I don't like to offset it. I think it probably comes from cartoons for I don't know what reasons. Again, I think people explained me like 10 times, and I always thought it was weird. So I don't know. Maybe if you guys have the answer, maybe I'd be happy to hear it again. Um, you still pose things to camera to be a bit more appealing and graphic. You do this with the body ever so slightly still, and you do this with the body ever so slightly still, yeah. Before you start. I'm not sure to understand what you're saying here. I post stuff to camera to be appealing and graphic. Yes, you see, I work in the camera. I always look at the camera, and then I always have also a look on this guy here because if this guy is there, maybe. I just say maybe if it looks good on camera and it's really the best option, then I keep it. But it's usually not the best option. Usually it's something I forgot or something. So I tried also to take a look of my 3D and having something consistent is usually a good solution. But sometimes you have to do it on purpose. Like this character here on this shot is completely broken in 3D. Her eye were just somewhere here. It's just that I had this storyboard and I really loved the way it was designed, cropping a bit the eye here and it looked not exactly how I wanted, so I reshifted stuff. But it's really specific to this angle. It's not something that I recommend to do break your character just for fun. So yeah, before you start refining, do you arc track at all? No, I don't arc track stuff. I mean, I don't use the motion tray. I arc track stuff. But I think if you start using the motion trail, like the stuff, I don't know if you guys, for those who don't know the motion trail, it's basically oh, some stuff. So you have your character like this, and you starting having this stuff you put and to track your curves in the nose. I used to do that a lot before, and I was like even like doing stuff like I was putting a locator in the face like this, uh, and I was putting another locator on here. So I was tracking the arc on something on here. So each micro movement here was doing this big change in the motion trace. So I was tracking like crazy my arcs. Why do I don't do it anymore? It's because now I know what I'm doing and I'm using this very clean methodology where everything makes sense, starting from the roots to the head, that if my curves are clean, it's going to be clean on camera. It's going to be clean on camera. And if you usually, if you're doing like arc shaking and stuff with motion tray, like getting a bit crazy, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen to me. Like maybe on a specific shot, I'm going to be like, okay, there is too many things happening. I need to track this. But if you're clean, for example, a shot like this, I won't use motion tray. I'm gonna track my arcs, probably eyeballing my arcs just in my camera and just check like, oh, it's weird. There's some stuff a bit too poppy here. So I'm gonna look at my graph editor and see what's happening in my graph editor. I'm gonna fix it in my graph editor. It's gonna fix it in my camera. If you working clean, you're not going to be like putting an arc here, like boom, 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 boom. I used to do this a lot, and I was spending too much time on this stuff. And after when you clean the face and you change the route and you're like, I need to redo everything. So this is not something I do anymore. I understand that people do that, but usually when I have my animators in my team like using those track, I'm like, it's there's something not clean in the shot. So use it if you need, of course. I think it's a good tool, but it's not something I use anymore. Mm, uh, uh, at what point do you use layers? Do you merge them? The anime layers are very powerful. They're a bit dangerous as well. You could get lost in it quite a bit if you use them too much. Um, I try not to use them too much anymore. As you saw, like I layer my animation, but it's in my base animation. I'm not using layers anymore. I could use layer for texture on top of something. If I'm using if I'm doing a shake or something very specific in textures, like if I'm like this, I'm shaking or stuff like that, then I'm gonna do like my movement and then I do a layer of like shaking, for example, and stuff like that. I'm trying not to use layers to do like my core animation, like the really my movement and stuff. But I met people using it, and it's really another methodology. I would say it's you bring some stuff, you add layers. So it's a while since I didn't use a layer for something very very big. You could use layer if you have like a big note, for example, from your director and you have like, okay, change the rotation of the head, and you have like all your your body is there and you just want to try. So you do a layer and you change the orientation of the head and you have everything there and you just have like this change and you see immediately if it's not working and you can blend it like 50%. It's very powerful. And I think it's a very good tool, but it's not something that I use in my methodology. It's something that I could use extra if I have like a problem, if I have like specific stuff. Something else, maybe do you use ever the upper head squash and stretch control? Is it this one here? No, this is this one, this guy here. Well, I don't know. I didn't animate this guy before, so let's let's see if I will use it. Um, why not? Why not? Why not? I don't know. It's dangerous because, of course, it's a skull here, so it should be very solid. But maybe if I use it like tiny little bit when I am doing, for example, I don't know, if I'm doing in the end, for example, when I'm doing like a fleshiness pass, if if I have this small movement, I feel like I don't feel it enough. I could I could try to put a little bit of those on top, just a tiny bit. I showed you like it's very small. So what I like to do better, it's probably, but I don't know if this one, yeah, it's bringing also a little bit of skull like this. So instead of just using those stretch and squash, I feel like those one, you don't have any control. It's just like you have one way to go and you have to deal with the squashiness of it. So what I prefer to do is having full control, doing a little bit of rotation here, and maybe a little bit of squash here, like this. I do prefer using those guys here, and doing a little bit of that, for example, just a tiny bit, and then I have like a nice fleshiness here. But it should be very, very subtle. Okay. Cool. Can be anticipated like a shape, but the plosive are to be on the sound. This is okay, this is the stuff. Yes, then anticipating the stuff is it's a bit more that like we talked about. Like I think it's really good if you have time to anticipate the shape, even if it's like not 100%, but just just 10%. If I'm going to say do you know what time is it? I'm gonna try to it's a bit like the same stuff we talked about of emotion, anticipating the emotion. It's like do so my mouth and my brain is already going to do the shape so I can anticipate a bit this. So but okay, I get the idea. I wonder if it comes from 2D. I don't know. I don't know. That's why I don't know if exactly where. Okay, I was told that originally in 2D was repeated when I started 3D. Okay, when I work from. Okay, okay, yes. Oh yeah, in 2D I guess it's a bit different because there's probably less detail, less fleshiness happening. So maybe to show the shapes, I don't know. Cool. Thank you for those details, precisions. Cool. Thank you so much, guys. Next time it's the last session. I hope you learned some stuff about the facial features and the lip sync and so on. I'm trying to, as much as possible, to finish this shot. At least I would like to finish the spline. I mean, with the face and everything. But I don't think I'm gonna have time to refine anything. So you're gonna have just the spline version. But I think it's still good to see it. So something that I didn't say, but so I was supposed to do just an advanced blocking, not the spline. But I think it makes sense because if I had to do an advanced blocking on this shot, for example, I would just do my spline and just bake it onto after to show to my director, for example, just to say like, it's not finished, but here is my idea. Here's what's happening. So I would take all my controllers and go to where are you again? Key whatever. I don't even know where it is anymore. So you go to key and bake on twos, and then you have like your animation on twos. But I'm again, what I don't do, and I think like very few people do, is to do a blocking on two. Like you move your character 2 frames, 2 frame, 2 frame. No. Use the graphity to use the power of Maya to do it. Um, Cool. So what you could do maybe for next time is pushing your shot. Of course, you go as far as you can, but also uh, think about like a question about the animation, some stuff that uh, you want to ask me, something specific. I'm gonna try to spend a bit more time next time for the question, because it's always at the end of the session that I do the question, and it's probably better if you think about it, something that it's out of the session, something it's I don't know about the lifestyle of animators. I think it's important as well. So I don't know. You can think of that as well. Thank you very much, and have a good week, and see you next week.